afẹ́fẹ́ tó dá kó fi rọ́pò gbogbo ìtí òun náà ti ṣe sílẹ̀. And this is the reason why Tashin sọ pé we don't own this world. We are only here temporarily. And at some point, we will all exit. Ìgbà tá fẹ́ exit ni olúkálùkù mọ̀. But whatever it is, k'Ọlọ́run foríjì bàbá wa, grandfather and husband, the former governor of Ondo State that passed out according to the family today. K'Ọlọ́run kó foríjì. And that is just shows that the world is going to end, or you will end. Economy. If you refuse, economy is either you will go. So economy junior. So in la sense of we're only here for a very limited period of time. So we're just getting ready to join the Star Radio again this morning. Let's hope all our network is great and ready to fire on cylinders. My name is Olamide, and I welcome you all as you join the conversation. In the sense of way, where we discuss
everything you ever wanted to know about it, you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Welcome back to the program Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I know that Mr. Olamide has joined in, but it looks like his image is frozen. But wherever you are, don't touch the dial because he's going to be sorting it out and then we'll be having him on. But feel free, push.
Akeredolu, Baba Lorire, Timolan Fanati Rini. I had the privilege
All the time, so just be there, reassured, and I tell you one thing for sure: you're going to enjoy this ride. All right, then. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. As we did say earlier on, the sad announcement of Akeredolu's death. Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State has died aged 67. We're talking about his issue for a long time, the fact that he wasn't allowing his deputy to take over, and the fact that he was in Germany for a long time and he came back. Well, what do you think about disclosure of health issues when it comes to
Can you hear me, Mr. Archie?
political actors? Should I put it that way? Or let me put it this way, big hooks, our leaders. So if somebody's going to be a president or anything of the sort, maybe we need to know exactly what it.
Okay, I think I know why we were not getting the images earlier.
He's back again. We will be sorting him out in a moment. But I could see him there. His image was clear, but he had to go and be back. But whatever it is, it's a very sad one there. Yes, I can see him. Yes. Let's see whether we can hear him as well. Yami, good morning.
Good morning back to you in the studio. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, loud.
Because we're having a bit of a technical glitch, but we see how far we can hold on to it. But let's go on. But as long as you can hear me, and
we can
yes,
hear you. We can see you as well. Your image is okay.
That's fine.
It's all working good. How are you? How is the family? And how was the festivities as well?
Well, I think we just have to be grateful, especially when you ask those questions. I know you just want to get the feel of the family. The family are doing very well, but there's so much to discuss this morning, and we're so in a very, very sober mood because in the last 72 hours, it's been darkness overshadowing a country called Nigeria. As much as a lot is happening here.
Yeah, go on.
In the other part of the globe here as well.
Okay, listeners, that is your statement to you this morning, and I can tell you with the stories that I've read this morning or come across over the weekend and everything that has happened, you ask yourself the question, as somebody is posted, if the country is not a civil war, why should people lose their life in this numbers? So let's go on straight. We'll come to Akeredolu in a moment. But 155 persons killed in a single day. Yummy.
Well, I mean, you might first remind our listeners that last week we talked about, the FCDO, the Foreign and Commonwealth, giving us the information that, Nigeria, should be prepared for the worst case scenario. But it seems that this current administration is already lacking behind when it comes to, security and intelligence details. And I'm talking about, the president, and right there on the screen is the governor of Plateau State that has also been talking about maybe it is time now that Nigerians will have to defend themselves against these monsters called the Boko Haram terrorists. The images cannot be shown, but the cry of the baby that was one of the images that was sent to us, where the mother has been killed, but the baby is still crying right behind her back. That just shows the kind of magnitude of over 200 people that have been killed in Plateau State over the weekend. The question then is, why have we got to where we are today? Is because we have the Fulani invaders that believe that they will conquer one part of Nigeria, one part of the West Africa, which is Nigeria. And, as many times that we've been talking about this, it seems that people are not really taking it serious. Maybe because many of those that should be listening to us are probably waiting for the Western media. And I'm going to tell you why. Because as much as we are reporting these on a daily basis on the Star Radio UK and as many other platforms across the, those that are the most active when it comes to the current situation in Nigeria, I was picking on something this morning from another journalist that says, I'm trying to pick that up, that he actually was in Nigeria 6 years ago. So that means he's still thinking that Nigeria 6 years ago is the same Nigeria today. And this is why we are saying to our listeners that you got to be on board and listen to the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. This is Douglas Murray, and this is how he put it on his timeline that has literally generated almost 848,000 views. But the question is, he has not reported what we have been reporting in the last 6 years. He says, and I quote, "Over Christmas, there was yet another massacre of Christians in the northern Nigeria. 6 years ago, I reported from there on the massacre of Christians carried out by the Muslim Boko Haram Fulani militia. I still can't understand," and this is why I'm going to return back to you, Mr. Archie. He's asking this question, and I'm asking all our listeners this morning. I still can't understand why the world does not care.
Well, listeners, it is Star Radio UK. Let me say good morning to Kehinde. Okay, Kehinde, well done, Star Radio UK. That's what you say. We thank God that you are still alive, Kehinde. Where are you listening to us from? Now, interestingly, let me come back to Yomi. Now, my issue has been, if it is this part of the world, we would have had the defense minister resigning like now. But the president came in promising heaven and earth. Now we're talking about the fact that people in the south think that they cannot go and settle in the north because whatever businesses that they are even embarking on, whatever they are doing, they will tell you, you can't do this, you can't say that, you can't do that. but they say we are all in the same country. So when people are calling for separation, then people ask yourself, people will have to be asking, why wouldn't they be giving that? You know what I mean? Tell me.
Well, each time you talk about the Nigerian military, maybe the Nigerian military that you knew when you went to Nigeria in the 80s, you know, the Nigerian military that fought and tried to protect many wars that has happened within Africa, from Sierra Leone to Liberia. But this time around, let me take you back to what the former Chief of Defense Staff, T.Y. Danjuma, says, and maybe you might want us to remember that the Nigerian military of today is already compromised. But let's listen.
This state is under assault. This state is under assault. There's an attempt at ethnic cleansing in this state, and of course in all the riverine state of Nigeria. We must resist it. We must stop it. Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits that kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
And this is just about almost 8 years ago. And on the weekend in Plateau State, we can confirm that more than 200 people were killed because they were waiting for the Nigerian military to protect them. Rather, the Nigerian military is moving all their arsenals to the southeast to try to stop the agitation, the campaigners of those asking for the right to self-determination known as the Biafra, when they've actually now left the other porous borders to be penetrated and massacred and killed. You would thought that that is the end of the weekend, but again yesterday, 10 Boko Haram terrorists went into Sokoto village, set 4 ablaze, and killed 12 people. Gunmen known as the Boko Haram, suspected to be terrorists, have killed no fewer than 12 persons in an attack in Kuya village in Raba local government area of Sokoto State. According to the residents that have been affected, told the journalists in Sokoto that this incident happened yesterday, Sunday night, following the invasion of the village by the Boko Haram Fulani terrorists who came with the sophisticated weapons, shooting sporadically. And I'm telling you, Mr. Archie, those were very, very sophisticated weapons. We will probably give you just a sound clip. But let me come back again to you first in the studio, because if you know that when we say that these are moving with very sophisticated weapons, they are moving with very sophisticated weapons. Another question you might want to ask is, where are they getting this from? It is the same barracks, the military barracks that have been invaded, the porous border that have allowed, these individuals to come up with so many heavy arsenal to kill innocent Nigerians. And likewise, as that is happening, the Nigerian custom and the immigration are still waiting in Seme for those diaspora that are coming with dollars, just like Professor Moyo Okedeji was almost killed by the same officer. Like I said, the firepower that is in the hands of these individuals is just too much, too overwhelmed for the community that might probably have those local guns to use for the farming. They will not be able to confront the firepower of these monsters, as you can hear from this sound.
ولله العزة ولرسوله وللمؤمنين ولكن المنافقين لا يعلمون. الله أكبر.
And that is just the kind of firepower that confronted the innocent life. May their soul rest in peace. I'll come back again to you in the studio on the Star Radio UK, the 27th December 2023. I know we are still countdown to the new year, but it is already a black day in what is called Nigeria in the last 72 hours.
Well, listen, it's a sad one there. A sad one there. You have your religion, I have my religion. There should be tolerance. But if we see people behaving this way, then what hope do we have? Kanye there, thank you very much. He says he's listening to us from all the way Paris. So he's our French representative on the platform. Yes, Kanye, they have a lovely day there. All right then. Now, interestingly, while this had taken place, we would expect that the governor will be there with his community to mourn with them. However, the governor had a different, because he thinks that having a meeting, or not a meeting, having a party with the president is the best thing to do when your community has been ravaged by such a terrorist act. Yomi.
Well, you would thought that these governors and the president and the vice president, you would think that they have human sympathy in their bodies. But like I always say, these individuals have probably left sympathy and they are no longer worried about many Nigerians. We are worried about Nigerians, even though we are 6,000 kilometers away from Nigeria. Yesterday, it has now over 21 governors, from different of the political party have paid a courtesy visit to the president at his residence as they celebrate the new year in Lagos and likewise Christmas that has been confirmed in the last few days. But one thing is, it doesn't matter how many of them visit, but what is the Plateau State governor also doing in Lagos State? It is now what is now becoming outrage as the Plateau Massacre claims over 200 people, over 10,000 people have now been displaced. We're not even talking about those that have been displaced. The president has already confirmed that that has happened. They're also putting inquiries in place as quickly as possible. But the most important thing is the governor that decided to travel down there as well. As the outrage continues, President Bola Tinubu released a statement by special media advisor Ajuri Ngelale condemning the attacks and order a manhunt for the killers. Well, the question is, how do you hunt people that have already left, the vicinity? If they were meant to be hunted, they should have been stopped in the first place. While condoling with the government and the people of Plateau State, well, the governor of Plateau State himself is being in Lagos State, maybe to talk to the president, but from what we know, it is just another visit, what we call the jamboree. The vice president is also in Lagos State. So it seems that nobody, as we speak, as of yesterday, I'm not sure whether they're moving, ministers and people that were visiting that community or the chief of defense staff. But what I can confirm is that as yesterday, Shetima was in Lagos State, 21 governors were in Lagos State, and it seems that many Nigerians are just asking the question, how did we get to where leaders do not have sympathy? We're not talking about 1, 2, 3 people. We're talking about 200 people were massacred, yet it seems that Bodilon has turned to jamboree in the last couple of hours.
Oh, God, have mercy on us. Well, if you're listening to us, this is what is happening in Nigeria. As some think that, the other time we were on the program and somebody just sent a message. I remember I read it sometime last week. Insulting us, saying that we didn't know what we're talking about. But these are realities. These are things that is going on. We will not be biased. If anybody in the south is doing wrong, we will say it. If anybody in the east is doing wrong, we will say it, whatever it is. And some people in the north doing things like that. Why wouldn't we say it? And government not sitting up, why wouldn't we say it? Listeners, it's Star Radio. Okay, so live again on North London Studios. I'm actually here in the South Studios. I'm bringing you updates from Nigeria. Now, interestingly, has the government come out, and normally things like that happen, and you hear government say that, there's got flags will be flying at half-mast for the people who have died. Was it recently when there was a shooting in the campus? Was it one of these European countries? Are they Hungary? Hungary, yes, I think so. And then the following day, or the same night or something, the government came out to say that this is what is going to happen. We know that the president went on with his party and all. We had all the governors on various states going down there. But the question is, has there been any statement of the sort from the Plateau State itself and then from the federal government too? Anything of the sort?
Well, like I said, the government himself have decided to spend, the weekend in Lagos State, when he should be visiting those community, mobilizing the security and giving assurance. He spoke a lot, through the medias, in Nigeria. But the question is, we would expect him to have stayed behind in the state. But as we always say, most of them do not even live anyway in their state. Most of them live in Abuja, where they just move into the state for whatever reasons, and then return back and sleep overnight in Abuja State, and that shows that they are not, with the people on the ground. Yes, I mean, the president, like we said, has already spoken out and, says that there will be investigation and the manhunt, the word the manhunt, you will ask, how are they going to hunt, these individuals? Many people are now pained, that this administration, and I can tell you the reaction goes on and on and on and on. Let's take some of those reactions quickly before we come back again. Maurice_Moye says, I really don't have any word left to describe Nigerian politician. Is he meant to be on the ground fully monitoring and coordinating what is happening on the ground? Even Tinubu would understand if he did not show up. But how would Tinubu take it seriously if you, the governor, still feel good enough to travel? There's sadly no leadership in this country. Same Plateau State governor that I had to call up before, he paid half of the salary of health workers. After a year-long rigmarole, they said they will balance them the salary till nothing. So you can even see that they are owing salaries in that particular state as well. Again, many conversations still going on. Plateau killing. Tinubu should have spent a week in the affected community to ease the tension. That is coming from another individuals there. And like I said, the reaction, especially of the governor that traveled, Governor Mufawang pays homage to Tinubu in Lagos as bodies pile up in Plateau after the terrorist attack by the Fulanis. Someone who cares about his people would have cancelled any trip or function outside the state. A FaceTime could have saved his show of shame. According to Bello Oluwatosin, they are the ones doing the killings. We are not just paying attention to the good detail. When we are ready to wake up from this slumber, we will all ask questions. Then the last ones, Ayola Joseph says, this is lack of sensitivity to the plight of the people in the state.
Well, listeners, it is Star Radio UK, a sad one day. Some of you, Adeyemi says, good morning to everyone on Star Radio UK. Happy New Year in advance. Happy New Year to you. Some of you, we pray that Nigeria will not happen to any one of us. With what is happening now, oh boy. Okay, now let's go on to some other story. One governor who wouldn't be or who wasn't part of it is Akeredolu. Now, we talk about him several times. We were saying that you cannot just hold the whole state to ransom and be in another state, whether you were recouping, whatever you were going on. And we did say this several times until sometime last week or thereabout, there was an agreement that the deputy should take over because of the president coming through to them. So now the question is, what happened to him? We know that he died from that, but how long? And again, why are the state actors, the big hooks, the politicians, when they are ill, why are they not telling us exactly what is happening with them?
Well, before we go into Akeredolu, we can also confirm that another former rep speaker, Gali Naba, also died, according to the family, and he will be buried according to, what we know today. He was born on September 27, 1958. 65. He's been battling a prolonged illness before crumbling to it as well. He's a former speaker of the House of Representatives. Gali Umar Naaba breathed his last in the early hours of Wednesday in Abuja, according to the family source. Now, let's go to Akeredolu. I think the reason why the news have actually come out so fast as well is just to give, that final respect to him. Remember that he has been battling, with the state, even, as he was trying to hold on to power, his health was not really very strong. We were praying for him, and we hope that, he will recover back, but unfortunately, it did not. According to the family source, Rotimi Akeredolu died in Lagos today, after a prolonged battle with leukemia. The Owo-born politician is also a senior advocate of Nigeria, was 67 years old. The ailing governor has returned to Nigeria just in September after 3 months out of Nigeria, for treatment in Germany. But again, I don't think, whatever was wrong, it could not hold on back. They were trying to shoot him away from the state. It was kept in Ibadan for a very long time, probably sneaked back to Lagos State. But throughout last week, there was a lot of, rumors out there. There was a lot of information. Even as at last week, people were already saying he's gone. But again, we don't take that rumor. We go with the fact of what is being said by the family. And that's exactly what we are doing today. Well, we know that the state will probably be going into a serious mourning. But let's remember that it was one just a politician that stood his ground, especially, when the former President Muhammadu Buhari refused to allow the functionality of the Amotekun. Akeredolu backed it so much, he wanted to get them harmed so that they can take back, this territory that has been, invaded by these Fulani terrorists. But again, as any other politicians, things happen. I was privileged to meet him, just about 2018, during one of our visits to Ondo State, during the Ondo Auto Rally. And as at the time, we questioned, we asked, why would we prefer to come back to Ondo State? He gave us reasons that there's so much opportunity in Ondo State. But like I said, at some point, it will be our bus stop. Our team, our correspondent on the ground have been questioning people within from Yewa all the way to Ekiti State. And as they say, whatever you do, people will talk about it after you've departed this world.
Well, we say here from Star Radio UK that may his soul rest in perfect peace, and the soul of the former Rep Speaker Gali Naba, who's also died, may their souls rest in perfect peace. And the souls of the common person in Plateau State and other parts of Sokoto as well. People who are just losing their lives because of actions or inactions of the government. What do you think about all that? Star Radio UK, do you think it's about time that Nigerians now armed our government allow the individual to own their own guns to defend themselves? Because if the government cannot come through for them, the state cannot come through for them, then what else can they do? Listen to Star Radio UK at 11:32, and I'll hand over to Yomi to bring you the rest of the stories making the rounds. Over to you, sir.
Well, as March, still coming through, with the death of Akeredolu, we move swiftly to some of the other news that is coming out of Nigeria this morning. Plateau killings don't allow Nigeria to become ungovernable under you. The Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, is telling, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, be involved in community development. The monarchies are urging many Nigerians, just like, the same thing was said by the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, that you must be involved, in fixing Nigeria. But the question is, many people want to fix Nigeria, but as that is not happening, many continue to japa. Mass exit of specialized workers exposed to Nigerians' bank underbelly. What does that go? And our operators in the banking industry are now mobilizing $20 million to replace specialized workers whose exit abroad in search of greener pastures as worsened service levels in the bank is also raising network glitches. Weaker digital channels have exposed the banks to increased activities of hackers. The question we always looked at, Nigeria is we talked about the, these healthcare sector, but we don't really look into some of the other sectors where people are moving out of Nigeria, and they're moving out in numbers. One of those sectors is the banking sector, where it's now needs about $20 million to replace specialized workers. We're not talking about just ordinary individuals, people that can protect, the bank, people that can protect your money from not being hacked. And like we always say, do not give the 6-digit code. Nigerians are very smart people. They will hack those bank accounts. They will hack your phone if you're not expecting any meetings. And if you're not too sure, just say no. Because what they will do is they will tell you that we will send, you have a meeting, most especially they've been using this Yoruba Nation campaign for that. They will tell you that there's a meeting coming up from Ogun State, Ilano, and they will be sending this code to you, and they expect you to give the code back to them. If you do so, your mobile phone will be override, and you will not have access to the phone for a couple of days, and you might lose as many information on that phone as well. According to James Emeka, that worked in the marketing department of 3 commercial banks for the last 9 years before he finally japa as well to UK in search of greener pasture. 5 years after he speaks to the newspaper on the worrisome japa syndrome, the term that is used to the mass exit of Nigerians in the country who are seeking better life in other countries. It says, unfortunately, we that have acquired the training and the work experience on the field know how it is out there. We are all leaving the country because of the bad economy, the experience without passing the baton of the experience to the new entrants. What you learn in school is totally different from what you learn when you are working. That is called the work experience that most of us gain when we come here, because sometimes your education background might be of useful, but mostly it is all about the work experience. So most of those Nigerians that are arriving today and most African countries are not really using their degree, especially if you're coming on this healthcare scheme. You are just going to be trained how to make sure that the care of duty is something that is needed, especially most of them. But as time goes on, and one thing again is that if you're coming on a particular scheme, it will be very difficult for you. Even if you have the expertise on another sector, you will not be able to change or switch, because the reason why you have been given that work visa is the demand and the need that the UK government and other countries need as well. So even if you're an expert in the banking sector, you will not be able to work in the banking sector when you get to UK. You will only be able to work. Well, it seems that the boxing match that took place, on the Boxing Day between Portable has actually beaten Charles Okocha in a celebrity boxing fight. Well, they've been, back to back with each other, but it seems that they decided to put the feet, in the ring, and it's been one of those celebrity matches. Both of them are celebrity, but it seems that they've also had these different, discussion of money, and they thought maybe we should face each other in the boxing ring, which they did yesterday. Again, we talk about money at 11:36. Many Nigerians are losing money, while many as well are trying their best with the little that they have to make sure that the banks doesn't rip them off. And this morning, your money is safe in the banks. This is coming from the Central Bank of Nigeria, is assuring many Nigerians that your money are safe. The Central Bank of Nigeria has affirmed the safety of funds in the Nigerian banks, emphasizing the stability of the country's banking sector. The Apex Bank therefore advised the public to continue with their regular banking activities without succumbing to the alarm caused by unverified reports not originating from the CBN concerning the health status of the Nigerian banks. As we're concerned about security, we are concerned about the health, we are concerned about our welfare, we are also now concerned about whether our little money, and I say little because many Nigerians do not have the big money. Those that even have the big money are switching those money into the different foreign banks as well. Foreign currency rather. So again, as we say, the PDP release timetable for the by-election pegs Senate from at the 3.5 million. Many Nigerians will not be able to contest, as again, the election is one of the most expensive things in Nigeria. At the last before I come that concerns most of us that are journalists is when we hear journalists in Nigeria or in Africa or anywhere around the world are being threatened. We are always concerned because journalists are meant to be free to report without any intimidation. But in Nigeria and African country is a different ballgame entirely. According to the NUJ, demand justice as cultists killed Edo broadcaster on Christmas Eve. A very, very sad situation, a very sad news again. Like I said, it has been darkness overshadowing Nigeria in the last 72 hours, and we can only hope that, whatever is happening in that country called Nigeria that was matched together in 1914, we will be able to resolve it amicably. Let's go into it. Odia is the staff of independent television and radio. He was murdered last night at about the second East Circular in Benin City, Edo State capital. According to the report coming out, Odele is the staff of the independent television, like we said, was killed yesterday. A spokesman for the Edo State Police Command, Chidi Inwabuzo, confirmed the incident, disclosing that the sizable number of arrests of the secret cult members of various cult groups had made different locations in the state. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Union of Journalists in the state has charged security agencies, especially the Nigerian police, to unravel the circumstances surrounding the murder of the broadcaster. The union prayed for the repose of the soul of this fallen soldier, urged his family to take solace in the fact that Odia will be remembered on the positive side of history. And like we go back to you in the studio, we pray that his soul will continue to rest in peace. This is a very sad news, especially journalists that are doing their job, regarding of whichever area they're talking on, whether you're an activist, you're talking about the crime, you're talking about the government or the welfare or humanity. You should not be scared of your job. But in Africa, mostly in Nigeria, it is not the same. And that is why many people that are journalists refuse to return back home. And those at home are very, very careful on what they say. Most of what we've discussed on Star Radio UK will never be discussed on most of the news network in Nigeria because of intimidation and harassment by the government, the politicians, and individuals that says, we will take you out, and they will take you out. And we've seen so many cases, just like our brother that died yesterday. May his soul rest in peace.
May his soul rest in perfect peace there. Very sad one there. But listeners, it's Star Radio UK updates from Nigeria. If you have any comments that you want to put through, feel free to do so. And I promise you one thing for sure, we're going to read that out. Well, Yomi, it's been quite a sad story following each other. And I don't know, what do you think Nigerians will be expecting for the next year?
Well, I think, the Nigerians will continue to hold, the government accountable, especially as many Yorubas, have lied down on Borderland Road waiting for Christmas gift from the president. It doesn't work like that. I mean, the president's job is to bring the economy, protect the citizens, and allow businesses to flourish. But trooping down there, maybe for ceremony to see and say hello, but sleeping overnight, thinking that they will share money. Tinubu is not going to be sharing any money as he has done in the past. He's the president. The job he should be doing is to protect Nigerians. And like as I said, as we go into 2024, I didn't talk about Professor Wole Soyinka. He actually spoke that, Tinubu is Olori Kunkun, somebody that have strong head. He told him not to contest. He has actually contested, and he will now give him 1 year, just like he has done with every president in the last since 1999. Then after 1 year, he will be able to talk about, what we should know in his own view about this current administration. Remember that he also paid a visit to Oloyegbowo in Benin Republic at some point. But the question many Nigerians are asking is, would this government bring any change that will not be the one that was sold to them during the former president, Muhammadu Buhari? He has actually not used the word change. He has used renew. People say renew shege, but we say it is renew hope, as it is in the manifesto.
Well, is it renew shege or renew hope? We'll see, as the president is saying there, and assessment that is going on. But do you think, once again, before we bring the updates to a close there, do you think Nigerians are angry enough? People, things are happening to you, and you say, they hit you, But when people become angry enough, then politicians have nothing to stand on because they...
I don't think we're there yet. Nigerians are not yet. As much as people use the excuse that the NSAS, the people were... No, you continue. I mean, let's take you through to Argentina. Argentina just had a president that people voted in, and they're already out on the street again protesting. Let's go to Israel. The Israelis are now also not very happy with the way situation is going, and they are now demanding questions. The question then is, why has that not been the same in Nigeria? Is because many Nigerians are waiting for that prophecies. They're waiting for that church. They're waiting for that imam to tell them exactly that this is going to be the prophecy in 2024. And to be honest with you, many Nigerians are just waiting for that man of God to give them the prophecy, and they will leave that, for that to be their only hope. But like I said, whatever you want, you go for it. Wherever we are today as well, people fought for us to enjoy it. Those that came in the 70s, in the 60s, the Windrush, people were not even allowed, to hold certain things in this country. And because there was a lot of, changes from people that spoke out, most of us that arrived, especially 25 years ago, 30 years ago, have now been able to live comfortably to some extent, even though we know the racism is there, but we are working on that and we are pushing on that. But in Nigeria and African countries, until you speak out, there's no mercy coming to you.
Wow, yummy. Let me say thank you very much. Are we having Niger Voices tonight?
I would be, giving you that update because we are still on the road as we speak right now, but we will hopefully give an update on that. But whatever it is, it will be the last Niger Voices, but I'll be confirming that with you later on, Mr. Archie.
Okay, so keep your diaries open. We will confirm with you during the course of the day. Yummy, let me say thank you very, very much, and you have a lovely day.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Well, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayemi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria, from our North London studios, and we want to say thank you very, very much.
I'm going to end the broadcast
to listen.
Because I haven't got much to say. I will just leave everybody to go and reflect on what we have been saying. That's all I'm going to say. My name is Olayemi Koiki. There's no point we talk and talk. Many of you are not taking us serious because you're waiting for your church and your mosque to give you the clue on what is going to happen to Nigeria. Like I said, may soul of Akeredolu rest in peace, just like the soul of so many people that died in Plateau State. But if we are serious people and we need to get out of Nigeria, we will do whatever is needed to stop the menace that Nigeria is putting every one of us to. What you guys want is we will be doing that, but we don't have to do 4 or 5 hours. That will change in the new year. It will be a message that you will listen to, or you probably throw it in the bin. But one thing is, some of us will not stop talking that the country, thank you, Nigeria, it will have an impact on your life. It's just that when a new governor will take over, and you will realize that this is what we are saying. The system doesn't work like that. Call on Forage Akeredolu. Find our Lord TikTok. That is myself with Akeredolu. I believe in 2018, if I'm right, where I was able, to visit Ondo State, a very beautiful place, in southwest Nigeria. But unfortunately, most of the question we asked him then, he couldn't implement it. And today, you that are waiting for the hope in Nigeria, you will not find that hope. That hope is dead. It is gone. But many of you are living in denial. And we will not stop talking. In terms of there is nothing wrong if we say, yeah, that was in 2018. Yes. Yeah. 2018. And there was TikTok. And there was TikTok. He's a very, very jovial man, very nice. When I met him, you can see that, like I said to you, I've been around for some time. Because I'm part of Yoruba Nation. I have been around. I know every single one of them, at least to some extent. I want to more close money by. But like I said, we were praying for him to survive and get back on his feet. But as things happen, Ọlọ́run àsìkò tí ẹ ti tó máa fi lọ nìyẹn. Ẹni tásìkò ìbá dẹ̀ ti tó kò sẹ́ni tó lè dìlé ẹ̀, òun ti lọ sinmi. But ìbéèrè tẹ́ kú wá béèrè lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ nísìn ni pé bàbá yìí ti lọ nísìn. Ìgbà wo ni Ondo State máa gbádùn? That is a question you should be asking yourself, because if 2018, part of what I asked him then, part of what we threw to him, if they've been able to implement it, maybe some of you today, your life would have been a little bit better. But just the caricature intercommercial Jenny Sin. Our one contafe Jenny Sin. Our one contomaje long term achievement ni Ashenshi Yoruba Nation. Yoruba Nation because of anything. We're doing the Yoruba Nation so that key life wale change ni ojola. I mean, Baba yo ti dagba púpọ̀ now. He's not meant to have died. I mean, Ashelan to dagba ju baba ilogan, kolon ko ye ki gbogbo dagba sí. But it torí pé púpọ̀ nu ọmọ Yorùbá and draw from religious people yin pé ko guide wa àwọn ló máa sọ bí a ṣe máa lọ ọ̀nà tá máa gbà ẹ bá ṣe máa ṣe tẹ́ bá já àwọn yẹn lè ń dúró dè, right? That's fine. There's nothing wrong pé kẹ́ dúró dè wọ́n. But the question is, bẹ́ ṣe máa dúró títí, because the same way tí mo sọ fún ikú bàbá yèyí àwọn kan tí mo bá wọn discuss pé ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé báyìí ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe báyìí wọ́n níbi tágbàlagbà bá máa gbégi sí ló máa ṣe kí wọ́n máa pàtàn oríṣiríṣi. bàbá yẹn náà ti lọ nísìn, right? Ẹ wo bí tí a ṣì wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, bàbá yẹn náà tuntun ti lọ, ẹ wo àwọn mélòó bẹ́ẹ̀. So at the end of the day, it just shows that we are not going to be here forever. Whatever we are doing today, history will remember us. History will remember me for the little that I'm doing. Just as history will remember you, history will remember the next person, the next person, and the next person. So, interconsult fún gbogbo wa ni pé ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ sowọ́pọ̀ ká béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn olóṣèlú wa ṣé ìrìn àjò Nàìjíríà la ṣì fẹ́ àbí àfẹ́ mọ́. Tá bá ní àfẹ́ mọ́, why then do we want to stick to Nigeria? This country ó ti destroy wa too much, ó ti drag wa padà sẹ́yìn. Kò, yes, àwọn family àwọn tó bá lówó ní politicians bá kú kò sí tó kàn àwọn ọmọ wọn, ayé ṣì ń lọ ni, ìyẹn ò stop ayé, right? The world will not stop, and I've learned that. Grandma mi ní ayé kankan parẹ́, gbogbo ẹni tó sọ fún yín pé ayé máa parẹ́ ẹ fi gbogbo jàgbàyà yẹn sílẹ̀, ó yẹ nísìn. Brother mi kan gbọ́ program tí mo ṣe lánàá, ó ní Mr. Koiki mo tún gbádùn ilé tẹ́tú sọ yìí pé ọmọ èṣù ni mí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ọmọ èṣù lèmi, èmi ò mọ̀wọ́. Tí wọ́n bá ní ọmọ Jésù níwọ àtọmọ ànábì, ọmọ èṣù làwa, bọ̀ mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta làwa gbé dání, kò yẹ nísìn. Religion kan la gbé dání, in tá à ń béèrè fún ni pé ẹ̀tọ́ wa wọ́n ti gbà kúrò lọ́wọ́ wa, wọ́n ti gbà kò ń ṣe àwọn olóṣèlú ló gbà, but àwọn ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ fáwọn tí wọ́n ń jẹ́ kí our backwards, àwọn ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún wọn because they refuse to not listen. Àwọn ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ àwọn olóṣèlú yín, àwọn ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún àwọn òyìnbó. Eléèdè la fi ń pariwo, la fi ń ṣe program, la fi ń sọ̀rọ̀, la fi ń ṣèkéde, la fi ń sọ pé ọ̀nà tó kù nísìn, ẹ má jẹ́ ká waste gbogbo talent ta ní. Ẹgbọ́n kan tó sọ, wọ́n ní gbogbo talent tó wà ní Nàìjíríà tó wà ní banking sector wọ́n ti sá lọ, wọ́n wà labroad. À ń fọbọ́, yes, gbogbo yẹn kò mean anything. À ń fọ pant, àyẹ́ o lè máa fọ pant gan níbi tó bá ti ń ṣiṣẹ́, o lè máa fọ kú gan, in tó bá wọn ló lè ṣe labroad as long as tó bá ti fún ẹ ní revenue, tó bá dẹ̀ ti ní fọkànbalẹ̀, wà á dẹ̀ máa fọwọ́ yẹn, wà á máa fi tọ́jú àwọn èèyàn nílé, tí wọn bá lè ṣe labroad. Tó bá dẹ̀ pé máa fi kọ́lé náà Nàìjíríà ni, o bá fi ṣe business kò stop ẹ. But imagine ẹni tó ní talent from the banking sector, ó wá jókòó sí London, ó lọ sí Canada, ó lọ sí America. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí n tàn yán, ṣe rí gbogbo èyí tẹ́ ṣe ń kúrò ní Nàìjíríà, in tó bá mú ẹ kúrò ní Nàìjíríà lórí scheme kan, tó bá dé abroad, mo ní pálí, mo ní knowledge IT, mo ní irọ́ ló pa o. Iṣẹ́ torí ẹ̀ kúrò Nàìjíríà yẹn, especially èyí tẹ́ ń wá lórí health sector, iṣẹ́ yẹn ló máa ṣe, kò sọ́gbọ́n ẹ̀, o lè change it. Iṣẹ́ yẹn ló máa ṣe. There is no way you can change it. You will never be able to change it. Iṣẹ́ kan yẹn náà ló máa ṣe títí wọ́n máa renew ìwé ẹ̀. Òye nísìn tó bá ń fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ immigration, tó bá ti dé London, ìwọ pè mí, èmi á ṣàlàyé fún ẹ. So imagine ẹni tó kàwé dáadáa ní Nigeria, you are well read, you've left Nigeria to travel to Europe. I don't say that nobody should travel. Look, if you can japa, Mokiya mi yetu coin, my beautiful auntie, gbogbo ina ni Mokio, ẹ má ni mo select your kan, Moki gbogbo ina pátápátá, aku alajo ọdún, aku èṣùdé, aku Merry Christmas, mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta lè mi gbé dání, Moki gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń wọlé, tẹ́ ń jáde. Let me continue from what I was saying. What we are saying is that how can you feel kàwé ní Nigeria and you end up traveling out of Nigeria? Even if you travel as a student, o lè ríṣẹ́ tó máa fún ẹ ní that kind of knowledge tó ti ní Nigeria. You will start from whatever you can give you. And most of the jobs don't ṣe nílùú yìí, let me tell you, right? Mo sọ ẹni tó ti gba ìwé o. There's difference between ẹni tó ní resident status. There's difference between ẹni tó ní permanent resident. There's difference between ẹni tó ní British passport, and that goes to any other country. I'm talking from this point of UK because I haven't lived in any other country. I've lived here for 25 years. I'm talking about ẹni tó wọlé tó yẹ pé nígbà tó ń process visa yẹn tó fẹ́ dé London, in tó bẹ process ni pé COS ló ń bọ̀ wá ṣe. COS. I'm sure most of you know the COS. If you don't know it, go and Google it. I don't do visa. I'm just using this for my presentation. So you'll be given access to come to UK. 2 years, they are stopping the dependent. I wish they did not, but I'm not the British government. The British government is going to stop that if they've not even stopped it. And if you're coming on another scheme, I think you will be able to be earning about 36,000. Let me say this. Look, me, I did this country, right? As I did leave this country in the last 25 years, I don't need any COS. I don't need any 36,000 pounds to earn, because I can earn less. I can earn more. I can set up a business. I can do so many things. You that are coming, this new breed of people that are coming, you will be restricted to whatever you are doing. Toba Bieda, try and do something that is away from your real visa that you've used to travel to this country. You will know what is going to happen to you. You will then know what they call immigration. They're not going to run after you. They are going to wait, but they'll catch up with you. And if you try to do these funny that some of us have done in Nigeria, my sister have explained that in the Iyalaje program. When you get to UK, you leave all those your bad attitude. You leave it at the airport. Okay? There's nothing wrong to now come and explore and start something new. But what about millions of people that are from Yorubas, the Biafrans, the Hausas, the rest of the different ethnic groups in Nigeria? What about them? How do we deal with them? Are we going to allow everybody to come to UK? No. This is where self-determination comes up. This is where the difference between what we are saying is that fixing Nigeria is not going to happen with just saying we are doing campaign for election. Because most of you now, you think it's about the election campaign. No, it is far away from there. The only message of hope that anybody, La Roy, Onipe, let us start asking our politicians our right to self-determination. That is the only hope. That is the final hope. Anything less than that, look, the only hope to coup, only Yoruba nation. That is the only hope. Any other thing that anybody is telling you, forget her. If anybody is telling you, this Yoruba nation, this and that, they are dragging us back. Yes, if some say revolution will end up bringing down the country. It is still going to be the end of the same thing. Somebody even said to me, Mr. Koiki, mo beyin ni o, gbogbo gba tẹ́ bá ti ń sọ̀rọ̀, mo ṣe pé àwọn pa mí láṣẹ. Stop talking about Yoruba people need referendum from Nigeria. We want to totally collapse Nigeria. We will not demand for referendum. But the reason why we say that is just to be able to tell and convince people that are still thinking that it cannot happen. So as much as we don't want to fight, we don't want to create another civil war in Nigeria, which for me, I know that we're only lying because that will be the end game. But before we get to that stage, we got to talk to each other. But we cannot delay too much by saying, let us continue to practice, this federalism that is being practiced right now, that doesn't care about the people in Plateau State, that doesn't care about the people in Sokoto State, that doesn't give a toss about the people in different states across Nigeria. What we should now ask the question is, how do we move forward? We can talk and talk on the social media, but the real cocoa is we must go on the ground and start pushing our representatives. I am not saying we should kill them. We don't have to kill them. We can start asking them the real question. The question that I put to Akeredolu before he died in 2018, when some of you don't even know me. At least some of you are seeing the images. Some of you will never have had access to Akeredolu like I did. I had access to him. If I wanted to be part of his government, I would have asked for my own selfish interest. Say, Governor, I would have been the closest of one of his media head. And I will not be operating like those in Nigeria because I will be operating from the perspective of the international media. and I'll be eating my own money as well. I'll have a house in Ondo State. I will have a house in Banana Island. I'll be rapporting with Davido. I'll be doing this. I'll be with Tony Lemelu as they're celebrating Christmas or the Otedola. I'll be among them. But I refuse to. And this is 2018. It just showed that I'm grateful that I remain that integrity of what I wanted. Because if I wanted to be part of the APC, I would have done that. Some of you will never have access to him. Anyway, he's dead now. Even the new governor, some of you will never have access to them. It was a privilege that I was able to have access to many of the Nigerian politicians. Name them. I will know somebody that knows them. But what we are saying is that these are the same politicians now that are dragging things back. Okay, Akeredolu is dead now. It's gone. He has left more problem for me to be dealing with, because the Ondo State, we say, hey, Ondo has the biggest and the largest bitumen, the second in the world. And I'm thinking to myself, no, it has been sold off. We don't own it anymore, because if Ondo State have what we are told that it has in terms of the bitumen, all the road network in Ondo State should be top notch. Because the raw material is there. We might not have the technology. We might not have what it takes to produce it in terms of transforming it. Then we can bring expertise from other countries, from China, from Ghana, from wherever we find them, and then employ the indigenous Ondo people and first fix all the roads. That did not happen during... Go to the governor's house, government house in Ondo State. Even the TT Gonwa Taye. I was able to see all these things because, like I said, we spent a couple of days there when I traveled to Ondo State. I've been to Akoko. The question now is, we will be deceiving ourselves, and you're waiting that Tinubu will change the narratives. The Jagaban is coming to give us the hope. There is no hope as things stand in Nigeria. I cry for Nigerians, but most of you, like my producer said earlier on, most of you don't cry for yourselves. We are concerned. But most Nigerians are not concerned, and the little that are concerned, they cannot speak out like we are doing, because they will come after you, they will deal with you. This is why we are saying, let us pull it down. How do we pull it down? By making sure that our politicians, we will continue to tell them, we're not fighting them. They are still part of us, whether we like it or not. As much as you might hate Akeredolu, I don't think anybody wants him dead, okay? So, but that is life. He's gone now. But he has left more problem within the Yoruba territory. But tonight, this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are around the world, Nigeria that you want to walk, it is not going to happen. If you're still one of those Nigerians saying, I'm a true... Okay, somebody is also saying the same thing, that Germany and Italy to follow the same suit. So they're going to start tightening up because they're very, very concerned. Thank you so much, Babami Simon at ABC. So, what we should talk about today is not, let's start preparing another set of people to come and do election in 2027. All that, we are just wasting our time. The politicians have become so powerful, they don't have our time. They are not going to give you the hope. Not everybody will be able to japa. Because we're talking about millions of people in Yoruba land, millions of people in the north, millions of people in different parts of Nigeria. What we are saying is that, okay, Mr. Koiki, you want Yoruba nation, but it's not going to happen in one day. Oh yes, I know that, as long as we are not fighting. But the day that we fight, the day, Tabatija, where everything goes the other way around, then it will be like that. But since we are not in that situation yet, okay, we are not in that situation. Thank you so much, Yami Kike Johnson, for the gift. I really appreciate those of you that continue to give us all these beautiful, beautiful. This was the one I did, when the Queen Mother died, or Queen died. I'm sure some of you remember that video. I think I got it right. So, what we are all saying is that, oh yes, it can be done diplomatically. It can be done in a way that is not going to have impact. We don't want to be like the Boko Haram. We are not animalistic people. The Yorubas are well intellectual, intelligentials. We are very, very, sophisticated people. We are kind. We are loving. Even as much as some of us, we've not seen each other, but the way we talk to each other, on social media, when we see each other, I'm telling you, Eshegon Yawa Kike Johnson again for the gift. Good morning, and everyone. I know there's a lot of you on the thread, but I greet everybody in one go. When we meet each other physically, you will not be able to say, we saw the same thing. Because we are not together, we are on the screen, and sometimes we might say things that you might be like, but the real question is, how much more do you need in Nigeria? I don't have to come to Nigeria. I don't need to be in Nigeria. I was in Nigeria in 2021. If you're asking me to come to Nigeria, you're wasting your bloody hell time. I don't have to be in Nigeria. I was in Nigeria in 2021. Showore is in Nigeria. Go work with Showore if you don't want to work with me. Showore is asking for the same thing from a different perspective. If there's no revolution, Nigeria is not going to move forward. So telling me to come to Nigeria is a waste of time. And moreover, most of you that says that you don't have the capacity. I was in Nigeria in 2018. That is my evidence behind you there. I was with Akeredolu. I was in Nigeria. But the reason why I can't come to Nigeria right now is because you know definitely that you are all criminals. You're waiting for somebody, just like you killed Daddy Yati. Just like you killed that journalist. The journalist I just talked about. All you are cultists. And that's why you go to Dubai and you become the same cultist and shit. All this nonsense is why we need to kill and bring down Nigeria as fast as possible, because most of you are criminals. Criminals. Not every one of you. So some of you that say, go to Nigeria, come to Nigeria. No, I'm not coming to any Nigeria, okay? What is my deal with Akeredolu? I'm a media person. I'm a media personnel. I went there to cover an event. Go and check it out. It's called the Ondo Auto Rally. I posted it. I'm going to post more video on the TikTok. So I was there as a media personnel. I've been in media. It's just to show that I've been in media, but they cannot come and say, this one is the same journalist in Nigeria that take brown envelope. Most of them are brown envelope. They know that. Most of the questions I Akeredolu, he can't defend it. But because he's dead now, you don't speak against the dead. They can't defend where they find, they tell you this person, we interview them, but they can't defend it. So, but like I said, it's just to show. I never campaigned for them. I went, I went for a program called Ondo to Rally. Some of you are just stupid and dumb. That's why we curse you. We are saying that I went there as a journalist to cover an event. You are saying, so if I went to cover an event, people know they travel with Joe Biden. Don't you see journalists traveling with them? They travel with journalists travels with politicians. So are you going to say that all the journalists in America are corrupt? No, there are some that are corrupt. What I'm saying is that most of your politicians cannot answer diligent questions. They are 419 as far as I'm concerned. The LLC Petrolex, I did a program in Petrolex. It is all scam. When they tell you that they are building a project, they're using that project to collect money from outside the world. Go to Petrolex, Ijebu Waterside. So all these that we talk about, anyway, I don't want to focus myself, Muke must be, because most of you don't understand that your politicians, they are part of the people that are used to suppress your life. And until we break the shackle, but you can't break the shackle until we all come together. So, in so even Sabino joined court. Well, I don't care, whatever way wants to join court. It does not matter. Nigeria that you love does not love you. If you take that with you, you will survive. But if you're still in the hope that your politicians are going to change any narratives, they're going to bring the best out of Nigeria, they are not. They are all puppets of the West. I live in the West, okay? I live in the West. What I know from living here, BBC is not going to tell you. CNN is not going to tell you. Al Jazeera is not going to tell you. they are all using Nigeria as a stooge to survive. The UK economy is in recession. I'm not sure, maybe some of you knows that. We are presently in recession, even though you might not be seeing it from outside. So if you're coming in, I beg, start coming to UK. Make sure you get the visa and come here. In London, house rent costs £1,900 for 3-bedroom. Most of you will not be able to live there anyway. So you will end up living in a very, very small room that will cost you probably maybe X amount of money every month. So life is very difficult here, but it is far better than Nigeria. But the UK needs Nigeria to be able to survive, just like America needs Africa to survive, just like Europe needs Africa to sustain themselves. Without us, there is not them. But the word Nigeria, let me go to that coin. That coin, they call Nigeria. We might not know before, or we might probably know and we just oversight and say, don't worry. In the next few days now, we are 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. In the next 5 days, everybody will be saying, Happy New Year, okay? But do you know that it's the same 1st of January 1914 that Nigeria was marched together? Most of you don't even know the meaning of the 1914 amalgamation. The 1914 amalgamation is the most fraudulent joining of people that speak that speak different languages, doesn't understand each other. Why do you think that the British decided to join us together? I'm asking you. Let us concern about why. Why, yeah, they're going to free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They're not free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It's going to be a problem. I can say that you keep posting that there. We speak to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So, Mukia Luka Adebola, most of the people in Nigeria today, you are seeing Nigeria from 1960. I have gone past that stage. I am seeing Nigeria from when we were put in the slave trade. I've been to the slave museum. Many of you, if you're not living in, even people living in UK, have never been there. And I pray that some of us that lives in UK, every time Sile, Kelosi Slave Museum. When you get to the slave museum, you will cry for what these British have done in our life. How they've dealt with every single of the souls that left that continent called Africa. For more than 500 years, they were using us for... look, the London Underground that most of you see when I do my recording, we built those on the ground. And we cannot now be told that, especially some of you that are coming now, that's why some of us are defending you. When you get to this country, you claim asylum, they must not take you back to Rwanda. Some of you don't know that that is the job that I'm doing here as well. We are activists not because we are doing Yoruba Nation. We are also activists fighting for the right of the new entrants, people that are coming to this country. When you get to this country, you must live in this country. They must not send you back to Africa. That is what they're going to do. So you might not like my utterances. You might hate the way I do my presentation. You might not be comfortable with it. But we are also fighting for most of you that will find yourself in this country maybe next year, 5 years from now. Because the British government, the same system that colonized us, now wants to send people back to Africa, to Rwanda. When you now live in Rwanda, you will then be able to come back if your asylum is confirmed. It doesn't make sense. If they knew, if they knew that we were not going to be, where we are today, they should have left us the way they find us. They met us very well. We were good people, and we are still good people today. But what they've done now is they've created amenities between all the different ethnic groups. And we are not tribes, okay? There's nothing like the Yoruba tribe. I am not a tribe. We are indigenous people. The British met us very well. We were well read. We were well civilized. Look, I've told you, this is a sculpture. It's 1,000 years old. Are you telling me that we should forget about this 1,000 year sculpture that is older than the shit-hole country you call Nigeria? Because the British decided to join us together. The British joined Nigeria together for one reason, and one reason alone, for their own selfish interest. And that interest is what we are now asking them to review. And if they refuse to review it, we pull it down. Whether we pull it down through diplomatic, we pull it down through whatever means, but at some point, that name called Nigeria will go down just like the Soviet Union. We are not saying that those of you that are still involved in political, whatever that you're doing, yes, you can still be doing your politics, but Nigeria would eventually. Can I fix my backdrop and position is affecting my eyes as it's rotating? Okay, I can't. I'm sorry, because I want people to see Akeredolu. That's why I left it there. You can go on my other platforms where you can watch me if you're not comfortable with that. I can't change that. I'm very sorry. You can go. I'm streaming on multiple platforms. Go on YouTube. It's stable there. It's not moving like that. I want people to see that me and Akeredolu, we lepa. Even though he never gave me any money, but at least may his soul rest in peace. So when we talk about Nigeria, before I go, what is Nigeria to you? Thank you so much, Jetstar. You can go on another platform. You'll be able to, watch it without these. I wanted people just to know that, we've been around 2018. Yoruba Nation campaign started December 2019, and then it started like that and like that, during the COVID. But sometimes people that see us for the first time, Moki our comfort Ologunja aku lede abiba la se ma so ti eyin around those state aku afeyinti baba wa kolon ko forun ke. I mean, we don't talk that bad about somebody that died. Akeredolu was the father, and it was also, I mean, we know that he loves the Yoruba people, but again, they're all in the game. So, but unfortunately, he's gone now, and we can only talk about what he has done and how I was able to be part, to do my little bit, when I went on those state. The program is still going on. So the program is still going. I'm not bringing anybody in. So if you're sending any requests, you're wasting your time. I'm not bringing anybody in. I haven't got the time this morning. So what I'm just trying to explain to us is that the British people, or the British, or Britain, they told us that we are Nigerians. That's what they told you. That's what they told me. But it's a lie. It's one of the biggest lies. There is nothing called, Ara Ondo State. Ara Ondo State. If you're Ondo State, I salute you and I greet you and I pray, may the soul of Akeredolu start traveling to wherever it needs to travel. Whether it's going to travel to meet Jesus and not be a shoe, whichever one, it doesn't matter. But let the soul rest as it moves from this sinful world. The world that people are now controlling the narratives. The British control the narratives. What was the narrative that they control? These narratives that they control is what is still having a big impact in our life today. And like I always say, I'm just going to read again what the former U.S. ambassador Campbell said about Nigeria and these amalgamation. These fraudulent amalgamation that many Nigerians are so excited. Some of you, like I always say, the little that you know is that you just know the word Nigeria, Nigeria. Okay, that's fine. But I am telling you now that that is a coined word by Lugard, working on behalf of the British as a governor administrator in Nigeria. He decided to put the Northern Protectorate and the Southern Protectorate together to form what is called Nigeria today. I've been to his house where he lives before he died in London, not too far away from Knightsbridge. Let's read what Campbell said. And this is, I'm reading now from Arise News. And this was posted in 2021, exactly 16th of May, 2021. Let's read through. Yes, some of you say, Koiki, we don't have to break up. We can have a regional government that can restructure the country. We can have strong autonomy, within the local government and all such. Even Tinubu is not going to give you that. Write today's date down. Tinubu will not return Nigeria back to the one that you are saying that you want. Tinubu is not going to do that. So that shows that your hope that you will have a stable Nigeria where most of us don't like the Igbos. We hate them so much and they hate us. Where we're all like, we're looking at each other, with very, very detailed eyes. Hey, the Igbos are going to take Lagos State. The Yorubas are not going to do this. The Hausas are this. But all that apart, that is what the British wanted. Make sure that Enuoko, they continue to fight. Emma Baranja, Larimeji, there will never be unity among us. Let's read through. The Nigerian former U.S. ambassador, Campbell, canvasses for true devolution of power. Let's look at the word devolution. D-E-V-O-L-U-T-I-O-N. Delta Echo Victor Oscar Lima Uniform Tango India Oscar November. What does it mean for the layman like me and you? Because all this Oyinbo is too much. Me, I don't understand that. Let's go and look at the meaning of devolution. When we talk about devolution of power, devolution is the transfer of powers and the responsibilities historically held by the central government to the local areas, giving the people and the politicians in those places more control over the decisions that affected them or that affect them. The question you should ask yourself, we have 774 local government. Which of the local government as of today is performing the function and the roles of a local government? Let's go and look at the functions and roles of local government. I've talked about this before. Like I said, we are finally doing a summary of everything we have said, in the past. Let's quickly find out what is the function of a local government. It doesn't matter whether the local government, is in Nigeria. It doesn't matter whether it's in Ghana. Whichever the local government is, it's still the same thing. First and foremost, among them are well-known functions such as the social care. Why do you think that people are coming to this country? You are coming to this country to work for a local government, but the local government have subcontracted the job to the care home. That's those of you that are coming through the care, which is the sector that we need. We don't need you to come and work in the bank. We don't need you to come and become an IT engineer to work in the stock market. No, we need Nigerians and Africa to come to UK so that you can work in the social care and take care of the elderly people that have worked in this country, but because we don't have people that will take care of them, because those ones are so busy enjoying life. So we need new entrants, which is Africa, Nigerians, come to UK so that you can work under the social care that you did not get with your local government. I hope I'm making sense. If our own local government is doing the same thing and we are paid to the standard of Nigeria, I don't expect you to be paid the same thing, because I live in UK. I used to think like that before, but I don't think like that anymore. I earn my money here, even though most of you give me money. So for the job I do, is service. So some of you are saying, Koiki, my friend £10, my friend people that send $1. Now, if I spend money to buy anything, I don't spend naira or naira. I spend pound sterling. When I first arrived, I used to think, I'm always take for you, but right now I don't think like that, because I've lived too long in this country to understand that my earnings is coming from here. Eshegoni switch tick for the roses and those that are commenting as well. I can see all the comment. I'll pick on that as we go into the program. Mr. Shegwana say, give power away, devolution. That's just the meaning. If you want to put a comment in, I've seen people that have been already calling my attention, saying, come back to Nigeria. If you're telling me to come back to Nigeria because you are part of those that wants to take some of us out, I'm not coming to Nigeria. I don't want to be in Nigeria. I am more than enough to stay outside Nigeria, do my little bit, and let Nigerians decide what they want. But on behalf of the Yoruba people, we will collapse Nigeria. I will educate my people to the extent that they will come after those politicians and ask them real questions. We are not there yet. I thought we were almost there. But as things happen in any movement, there was a lot of crack. People infiltrated. People were not understanding what. People thought we were politicians. Oh, give us money there. Let me not go away from where we are. What is local government? Function is social care, schools, housing. Let's stick to those three. Let's stick to those three to start with. Which of this function works in Yoruba land? If I want to be fair, I say which of this function works in the 774 local government. In the Yoruba land, from Kwara State, Kogi State, Ondo State, where we've lost a very prominent, iconic man. He's an iconic man. We might not agree with his view as he's doing his own. But right now that he's dead, we love him and we appreciate him, and we pray his souls depart to wherever he's going. Which of the function works in the 191 local government, even where Akeredolu was before he died, even as Seyi Makinde, Dapo Abiodun, even Lagos that has so much money? Can you tell me now in the comment section which of these three that I've mentioned? Okay, I'll even add 4: social care, schools, housing. I'm not going to put planning, but there's nothing you can do. You need planning. We cannot plan anything in Nigeria because we don't have the right data of the Yoruba people that we're going to look after. We have now people that have infiltrated us. They are Igbos, they're pretending to be Yorubas. We have Hausa, they're pretending to be Yorubas. We have all these other ones that are pretending to be Yorubas. They are living with us, but like I always say, they have the right to live presently because Nigeria is still existing. I live here right now in this country. It is the responsibility of the local government to look after me, but on one condition. What is the condition? On the condition of my immigration status in this country. I was not born here. That literally means that I would then have been told by the Home Office that for me to live in this country, this is going to be your condition. So when we say that we will break away from Nigeria, what is going to happen is that along the line, we will have stringent immigration rules. It might not affect people that we have lived together with in the last 60 years or 63 years of this fraudulent country you call Nigeria, but it will eventually have effect on the new entrants. When I came to this country in 1998, it has actually changed on how things happen and work here, because the new entrants will continue to be affected as immigration evolves. So what I'm trying to say is that some of us right now do not have the right to what they call public recourse. What that means is that the government in UK have told the local government, but Arakunrin anything to do with public recourse. He can live here, we accept him, because he said he doesn't want to go back to Nigeria after he arrived in 1998. I was laughing when I saw some of you that have just come in. Some of you, do you think Igbo man will want to claim Yoruba when Nigeria divides? Well, even if they claim Yoruba, we will find out by finding their roots. Are they married to a Yoruba woman? If they're married, oh yeah, they have the right to get the Yoruba document. But the question is, we might not give them the top-notch job. Like the MI5 will not allow me to become a full member of MI5. I might work in some sector, but there are some sector that have good, clear security clearance. They will never allow you or me that have arrived here in just 25 years. Do you know what that means? That means that I can literally sell off this country to another country. Even though some of us that have now even have British passport. That is why you have to swear allegiance. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So the issue about we breaking away, and we might have issue where the Igbos want to become governor, they're going to become this or that. No, it will be what the Constitution says as at the time. And like I said, some of us that arrive here were not given a full access to public recourse. Some people have it. And as I speak, so I just want to clear the air because many people don't understand, the breakup, what it means. Many of you are scared that when we break up, how do we survive? How do we live? That is the job of the government, the new government of the day. But the present government cannot provide social care, cannot provide schools, cannot provide housing, cannot provide waste collection. I'm talking about the present Nigeria today. If, like the program I did 3-4 days ago, toilet in Nigeria, according to the information that we did, I don't want to go back to that program. You can go and watch it. Nigerians are building new toilets between 2015 and 2021. I'm talking about toilet, Ile Yagbe. You will expect that we should be able to maintain the toilet for at least the duration of whatever the toilet is going to be. Sometimes, it might break, but we need the maintenance. According to the record, 4 countries were used for the I know Nigeria was there and some other countries. We cannot even maintain toilet in the schools of many Nigerians today. Toilet. So where is the fault? The fourth is because the system is holding power in the top, which is what Tinubu is doing right now. Tinubu is holding the power in the top, but the power is not meant to be in the top. The power is meant to be at the bottom, which is called the devolution or devolution, exactly what we're doing. So, what is local government? Local government is responsible for a range of vital services. The word services is what keeps UK going. The reason why many of us want to travel out of Nigeria, the services is in Nigeria, but the system that Nigeria has been built on, which is what we are saying is faulty. The foundation is a fraud. I'm not talking about the 1960. I don't care whether, the Igbos destroyed the regional government. I am talking about the fraudulent 1914 amalgamation that the British joined us together and kept us like that until we now end up fighting for independence. That is what we should destroy. That is what should collapse. In let's see when the Soviet Union was also founded. So the word founded was Nigeria. Nigeria was founded, but the Yoruba has been around for thousands of years. The Igbos have been around for thousands of years, and the Hausas have been around for thousands of years. The Fulani have been around for thousands of years, but they are not part of my territorial geographical location called Southwest. What they are doing now is they become invaders. They are coming in. They might not come in one go, but they are driving in slowly. And by the time we sleep, one day we wake up and we don't own that territory anymore. You should be concerned about your identity and your territory. When those two is out of your possession, you don't own any land anymore. I'm not talking about the land where you're in a fight in Amonile. I'm talking about the whole land. You might think it's not going to happen. It has happened before. Go and read the history of the Armenia. Soviet Union was founded just like Nigeria was founded. So when people say, shut up, come back home, Nigeria is not going to break, you are wasting your bloody hell time. Soviet Union was much more powerful than Nigeria. In 1922, it was founded, just like Nigeria was founded in 1914. Soviet Union dissolved. That is the right word they normally use. It collapsed because people do not want to live together in that one entity called the United States, the USSR, as it is known then. Today, before we go back to Campbell, the local government cannot function because Bola Tinubu is not going to give you devolution of power, a full autonomy. Even as Nigeria is today, you need that to be able to function so that you can hold people accountable. The reason why you can't hold people accountable is because power does not belong to the local government chairman. The state governor have become the emperor. When they talk, the local government chairman are kneeling down and they are dobale, just like they did with Dapo Abiodun. And that is why there's no functionality of any goddamn thing happening across Nigeria today. And what we can do is to start asking questions. Okay, so how can Dapo Abiodun? He's just an ordinary politician. It shouldn't be as powerful as the local government chairman. Dapo Abiodun is representing the people, but the local government chairman must have a say in this country. That is how it goes. And let's now go back. In England, more than 1 million people work in the local government across the range of different types of authority, providing more than 800 different services to local communities. My question is, how do we get to that stage? Let's continue. Government is rotational. When Tinubu finish, it will try its best. It will hand over again. We will hand over again. That means that you are telling me to lose my true identity because Tinubu and the Yoruba politicians that wants to maintain this country that was put together as a business enterprise. The British put Nigeria together as a business enterprise. So let's go back to what we were reading earlier because of the time constraint. Former US ambassador canvassed through devolution of power, which is what some Yoruba people and some Nigerians are asking. There must be power to the central. But all your politicians even knows that if power is given back to the central, you will not be going to them anymore and be dobale and be asking for Congo rice. There will be the new power will be on the local government, and like UK is doing, or England, because if I say UK, Scotland is having a different system. Wales is having a different system. I live in England. England has about 1 million people that works in the local government. We are preparing an election in 2025. They're already working, they're checking people that make sure that you are the one on the database, especially so that you can be able to vote. And when we talk about voting, the first voting system in Nigeria was rigged by the British government for the Northerners as well. Now, let's go back to what Campbell says. A former United States of Nigeria, John Campbell, said, dead or alive, sadist, former President Muhammadu Buhari must urgently take a number of steps that could immediately help to salvage the country from a former United States ambassador to Nigeria has said that former President Muhammadu Buhari must urgently take a number of steps that could immediately help to salvage the country from collapsing. You see, the question that many Nigerians do not want to accept is, you hate the world is going to collapse. Koiki, stop saying that Nigeria is going to collapse. I don't like that. How can you say, no, it is going to collapse. The process of the collapse would happen gradually, until everything collapses. So, it is you Nigerians that are not living in true picture. You are waiting for your Babalawo to tell you that Nigeria is going to collapse. You are still waiting for your imam, your pastor, your religious bodies to come out and say, prophecy 2024, by 2038, Nigeria is going to collapse. Nigeria is literally at the verge of collapse. It is just when, how soon the collapse is going to happen. Let's go further. Otherwise, if the current situation continues to deteriorate, the imminent implosion, I love that word. Let's go and look for the English dictionary of, again, implosion. I-M-P-L-O-S-I-O-N. India, Mike, Papa, Lima, Oscar, Sarah, India, Oscar, November. And the word pronounced like this.
Implosion.
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 An instance of something collapsing violently inwards. Nigeria will collapse violently inwards. And whatever I'm reading right now on Buhari is the same thing that is going to reflect or apply, that's the right word, to Tinubu as well. So if some of you are saying, this guy is just wasting his time, I don't think this guy gets job for London. No, I am a freelance journalist. That is my job. I don't have to be in the office. I could be anywhere and remotely anywhere. If I need to go to the studio, I'll be in the studio. I am not a doctor. I shouldn't be in the hospital. I am not a mechanic. I should not be fixing a car. I am not an Uber driver. I used to be before. Right now, my job is to talk. You can take it or you can leave it. Nigeria is in the process of
implosion.
Write that word down. I for India. M for your mother. P for Peter. L for London. O for Orange. S for Sarah. I for India. O for Orange. N for November. That country is currently at the verge of breakup. It might not happen as I want it straight away, because many Nigerians still live in denial. You love Nigeria so much that you think that applying the word Nigeria to your name, I am a Nigerian. I have said that many times. Right now, I even regret saying that I am a Nigerian, because it's a shit-hole country that was put together by these Oyibo people. That means that they've literally taken away my true picture of Omoduduwa, Omoluabi, my picture called Yoruba people, the indigenous people, the Romalade. They removed that and they gave me what I am now using to communicate, which is English. I cannot even write, some of us cannot even write our languages, because that is the part of the problem. Destroy their language, destroy their culture, and even destroy the people. That is what the British created in 1914 amalgamation. I don't care whatever happened in 1960. I don't care whether the Igbos or whoever destroyed the regional government. I am more concerned about the destruction of the Yoruba people in 1914 by the fraudulent amalgamation that was put together by this crazy system that we are now suffering today. We are not going to be here forever. Akeredolu died. He refused to speak the truth. To those of you that should have listened to him, it's gone now. My job is to continue to remind you that this shithole country, I don't care whatever happened in 1960. I'm more concerned. The British still work with history. They don't throw their history out of nowhere. They will talk about Winston Churchill. Only God knows how many people met Winston Churchill. You know, I say Winston Churchill. You never see him. Why are they still making Winston Churchill an icon? It's because of some of the things he has done past in the history. So why then must me, Olayomi Koiki, an Ijebu man, a Yoruba man, will now say, because I don't want trouble, I don't want anybody to be concerned, I don't want anybody to be worried, let's just have devolution of, I don't care about devolution of power. I want a true self-determination of our sovereignty away from the madness called Nigeria, and we can set up a new system, have a cordial relationship with the Biafra, with the Arewa, with the African Union, with the ECOWAS. Some of you do not understand that some of the European countries that are 27, some of them, go and look at their country, you realize that Ondo state is better than them. Just go and look on the internet. You will realize that Ondo, I'm not talking about Lagos, because most of us use, Lagos can be a country. No, I don't care about Lagos. Ondo state is far better than some of the European countries today. But because the Onyibo people, IMF is going to put on suit, and the World Bank, and the African Development Bank, and the Asman Bank, Suku Loan, and all this, and they'll come and say, hey, Nigeria is the most populous black nation. So how does that reflect as a Commonwealth citizen? Some of you will never get into UK as a Commonwealth citizen and prove to them that you are a Commonwealth citizen and you want to come and visit London. They'll tell you no. So why are we saving Nigeria? Who are you saving Nigeria for? Oh, you are saving it for the mafias that controls the port authority. Oh, don't you know that your waterways is no longer in the hands of your possession? It is being controlled. Go and see what is happening in the Red Sea. Go and see the current situation. There might be a third world war. I'm telling you, there's a big warship from different countries presently in the Red Sea. They say at a joke, they say at a play. I know a lot of you do skit. What I'm discussing is not a skit. It's the reality. You will never listen to such conversation in any of your network. I don't care whether you agree with me or you disagree. We will collapse Nigeria even by talking to you until you will understand the true picture. So, go and see what is happening in the Red Sea. Yoruba is one of the problems, is what, you see all these, Yoruba are the problem, Igbo are the problem. This is what the British created. Why are you saying, look, if British did not join us together, are we going to have problem with the Igbo people? No. Yoruba was an entity, was a territory on its own, governing themselves, managing themselves, respect each other, work with each other, until this fraudulent monster called the British came in, destroyed that, and then you are now saying, Yoruba are the problem. Oh, Koiki, I know you know that, but you are living in denial. No, we are not anybody's problem. The British decided to put us together so that we can have frictions, so that we will not love each other, so that we can start saying, this is why I say, if we are one people, one culture, one language, you will have problems with the people who don't understand your culture. You will have problems with the people who don't understand your language. Why then did the British join us together? That should be the ball of the question. I don't care where you say, Yoruba are the one in charge of the government now. They are destroying the country. Igbos are the one bringing fake drug. All that I really... Look, the amount of drug within this country, the amount of gun within inside this country is unbearable. Last week in Hackney, or 2 weeks ago, a 16-year-old killed a 42-year-old woman with gun. All that one a problem we will deal with internally. The bigger picture we should be talking about is, how do we collapse Nigeria? we the Edos, what have we benefited from Nigeria? Well, you might as well ask me, what have we benefited as well? It doesn't matter. That is what the British have done. Edo can be a country of its own. If you don't want to be with anybody, you can. Go and look at some of the countries that are smaller than Edo. All you need to do is just work with those countries and then run your own government. Let's come back again. I'm telling you about
implosion.
An instance of something collapsing violently inwards. Why must we allow Nigeria to collapse, violently inwards, when we can come together, discuss the future, and decide whether we want to live together or not? So, now, let's go back again. I'm just giving you the breakdown. So I'm going to read back because, that is the only way we can understand. A former United States ambassador, like I said earlier, advising Buhari then, dead or alive. Buhari is gone now. We have Tinubu now. Tinubu is now the one in power. Tinubu is the one I'm talking to now. And the other Yorubas. I don't care whether the Igbos want to listen because their government are almost the same like our politicians. The North, they are happy because most of those in the North, there's nothing called the North. Go and listen to Chief Tola Adeniyi. The North have been destroyed long time ago. What you have now are Fulanis. Ganjude is a Fulani man. El Rufai is a Fulani man. El Rufai state and quoted, there will never be a Christian governor in Kaduna State. I don't care what happened in that end. I'm more concerned about the Yoruba people. So I don't want to read comment because it's taking me out of my discussion this morning, and I'm very, very pressed with time. This program should have ended 1 hour ago. Let's go now. So we've explained the meaning of imminent implosion. That means anything shele. Nobody prays for such. Prepare for that. Don't say it cannot happen. When it happens, I will be alive, you will be alive, but not everybody will be alive. Go and see what is happening in the Middle East. You will cry for humanity, just as I'm crying for what happened in Plateau State. In an exclusive interview with This Day, Campbell, I want you to listen to this section now. Just listen. Take note of this. Campbell, like I said, he was a former United States ambassador to Nigeria, John Campbell. And Campbell is spelled Campbell, in case you want to go and do your own research on this. In an exclusive interview, he actually describes something. What is it? The same thing that many of us have now been talking about, at least in the last 3 years. You might say, but Koiki, why didn't you talk about all this before? Well, it's because part of the history that we were never told. If I've been told this from secondary school, like I'm being presenting it to you today, we would have collapsed Nigeria while I was in secondary school. Sowore knew because he was also exposed. That is why Sowore continued to talk about revolution, because he has seen the shenanigans of what has taken place in that contraction for a very long time. Some of us just picked along the line. How will I remember amalgamation when I came to survive in London in 1998? I wanted to work, make money, send money to my loved ones, enjoy myself here as much as I can. And while I was doing all that, also have to go through immigration. 15 years it took me just to fight immigration. I shouldn't have left Nigeria. I should have just taken Nigeria, but my mom saw the future that there was nothing called Nigeria. Now, Campbell described the 1914 amalgamation of the southern, when we say southern, that is the side of the Yorubas and the Igbos, probably maybe part of the Middle Belt, and the Northern Protectorate, which is the side of the Hausa people, where they've now opened their borders. Infiltration of many Fulani terrorists are coming through. What they do is they block Benin Republic. Oh, people that are bringing rice, they stop them. But people that are bringing firepower, people that are bringing AK-49, explosive, killing many people as they've done in Plateau State. Nobody talks about them, but they go to Yewa or Jaudon, all these areas, destroy lives. I don't even understand why custom goes into Abeokuta and get rice from people that have managed to sneak the rice in. I'm not condoning crime, but people are just trying to survive. Let's go further. The 1914 amalgamation of the Southern and the Northern Protectorate as an idea. Did you hear that word? Let's now find out, as an idea by the British colonial rulers. So that means the amalgamation of Nigeria was an idea. They met good people What is the meaning of idea? Let's go and look for the meaning of idea. So when I say idea, IDEA, India Delta Echo Alpha.
Idea.
Kilo mean a thought or suggestion. It's like me now saying that, I think we should claim England. No? Can I come out and say to our people now we should claim this country? Do you know that is an idea? And we can do it. How are we going to do it? Blood go flow. How many people agree with me that we should take this country? I'm sure many people will. I'm not talking about those that have committed crime, because many Yoruba people, Igbos, they've said that this country destroyed Nigeria and they created a lot of crime, especially in the 80s. Credit card fraud was going on in this country, and some of them were saying it's because what British did in the country then and all that. But I'm not saying we should go into that kind of crime. I am now asking, should we take this country? I want us to start thinking now. This is the idea of the amalgamation. Can we take this country, or should we start with Peckham? We overthrow everybody there and we turn it into our own. Blood will flow. That is what the British did. Do you think that they just gave us Nigeria without the blood flowing? Many people were killed, massacre. And that is exactly what is still happening today around the world. Territories is what create fight. I've been watching the Turkish and the Kurdish. The world would never have peace because so many of our lands and territories have been breaking into different particles, especially the fraudulent 1884 Berlin Conference. That conference decide who takes what from Africa. Britain loved west of Africa because they get gold, they got resources, and they were dipping their hand. They made railway. That railway is from the resources point to the port where they load it and they transform England or UK to industrialization place. Many of us today now have returned back on our own free will without them bringing us. We now pay money, heavy money. Kentos abebi mokin yami, and we've decided to stay in this country. Let's go back. So a thought or suggestion as to possible cause of an action. So the 1914 amalgamation, which joined the Southern Protectorate and the Northern Protectorate, is an idea by the British colonial rulers. You might be asking that, but Koiki, what happened to our own king of those days, and Obale Yoruba? How did they accept this nonsensical, amalgamation? This is where some say, Koiki, there's no evidence that back it that there was an 100 years rules to say that after 100 years, everybody can go their separate ways. Let's even agree or disagree that there's no 100 years rules. Whether there was an 100 years amalgamation that says, guys, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, live together for 100 years. After 100 years, if you think that it's not worth living together, pull out. Let's say that it's not even, the clause is not there. I'm now asking, why are the Scottish people, after the union with England in 1707, why are they now making it look like they want to go out of England? They don't want to be part of what is called United Kingdom. I mean, how do you feel if me and you now, where we the struggle, we define how we go live our better life? They can't give you Scottish passport. Scottish government can't they say, we are going to exit United Kingdom. For you, it's going to be very difficult to understand because you get light, you get money, you're doing very well. The Scottish citizen says that they are tired of the union. The union that brought them together by their great-great-grandfather. They say, no. This union is no longer visible. This union is no longer working. This is Scotland. Scottish that at least I've been to Edinburgh, I've been to Glasgow, I've been to Scotland, I've been to Simayegun. It lives up that side. They are now voting in 2014 to exit the union. But as we always say, there is always some other conny, especially these Oyibo people. They deceive the Scottish people. They told them that let us remain together. Just as many of you are telling me, Koiki, if we stay together, we are better off. It's just that we don't have good leaders. We will never have good leaders because that is the game plan. The Scottish were told, okay, you want to go, but remember that if you go, we're not going to leave EU. They sold them lies. I'm not saying all the Oyinbo people. If you sit back and trust all these Oyinbo people, our life will be in big danger. They were told lies. They told them that if we stay together, we would be able to remain in European Union as a body. The people voted, 2 million Scottish people. 2 million Scottish people voted yes, we will stay together. 1.6 million said no. That means about 400,000. Do you know that if England rather, Parliament, if they bond them well, let them retry another referendum and see whether they will even get 1 million people to say we live together. That was in 2014. Let England try again. Do you know what they did? They said no, they can't give them any more referendum. Because after they deceived them, they now pull out of this same union called European Union in 2016. 2 years after they already told the Scottish people that we will live together in one body, but we will be part of the European Union. Do you know what they did? They pulled out in 2016. The first thing that they did now is they changed their passport. There's no longer the red passport anymore. It is now called the blue passport. So some of you that are complaining, some of you that are saying that it is not worth it, let us just all stay together. No. We can live as neighbors. Neighbor, today, if I'm going to drive from this country to France, it is a new system. I will not be able to take certain things from this country and enter European country because it is no longer the same law that they were both using that applies to them. The law has literally changed. And I'm not joking. There was a case of a lorry driver that was eating a sandwich or something. He wanted to drive it into, the European country. They said no. But UK now, England, or English people, they are always thinking that they're smart. They are now trying to use the back route to get into with their market, with their goods into EU with Republic of Ireland. That is still ongoing. But what I'm saying is that UK was part of those that founded the European Union. After 35 years, they pull out. Why are they now saying to me that go and vote, get your PVC, stick together, love each other? No, we can love or hate each other, but we can still divide, collapse Nigeria. Again, 1914 amalgamation of the Southern and the Northern Protectorate as an idea by the British colonial rulers for mere administrative conveniences which fail to factor the fault lines into proper account. Britain, this country, will never apologize for slavery, neither are they going to apologize for this fraudulent 1914 amalgamation. So they are now deceiving every one of us. Mokia and Sister Ellen, good afternoon to all our mothers and everyone on the broadcast. What they are now doing is they're telling us, manage Nigeria. If your politicians are doing anything, we will sanction them. We will not give them. If they like, maybe they don't give them visa. Your politician can order anything from abroad. They don't need to get to America. They don't want to go to America anymore. They want to live outside the shore of places that they will feel comfortable to spend those stolen wealth that they've taken out of Nigeria. They're not interested in UK. But some of them are still gullible. People like Akeredolu. Akeredolu is serving a prison sentence because he wanted to save his daughter's life. There's nothing wrong in that. But what about that boy that he was bringing? I'm going now because the case has been concluded. We are waiting for the Zani's case in 2025. God help and save us till that time. So when you are thinking that the English people, they are stupid, they are very smart. There are now also some of them that also are concerned that the future of this country is transforming with many different ethnic groups that are, people that are coming in, indigenous people, and they're very, very worried. But that is not my problem. My problem is my own territory. I can only speak on behalf of my territory because we cannot take this territory. Eshegon Yawa, Kike Johnson. Let's move swiftly because of the time constraint. And I know many of you that watch me are from Nigeria. You're burning a lot of credit. And it's good that we have good numbers of you this afternoon. Maybe because I'm not cursing, I've been told not to anymore. Okay? You probably not hear that maybe once in a blue moon. If I see so many people have been trying to frustrate me this morning on TikTok, I block them off. I'm not interested for them to be here. Let them go and be listening to Shane Wakimbaloe. He's a good friend of mine. He will never speak like I am doing. And I love Hussein Rufai. And if you like, go and be listening to people they try to frustrate me. I've seen that already. Especially some of them will never. Some of you just want to be in my condition, but you'll first arrive in UK and you will live here for 25 years. But I pray that you will not be looking for papers for 15 years like I did. You will know what it means. You think that all these your small visa where they give in a come inside. This is some of the fight that we are fighting for you not, especially in UK. So that when you come here, when you come to this country, claim anything, no. Look, if you say you want claim asylum. But I don't know how you will get here. When you now claim asylum, we will fight so that they don't take you to Rwanda. That is what the British government wants to do. They will take you in another flight. Where you come from UK. And I was going to say something earlier, it skipped my mind. Some of you, wait just they arrived. Let me tell you, be careful. UK is not Nigeria. I was listening to ITV News. People where they claim asylum. Of course, no more cursing, just leave them. People will claim asylum. This is not a joke. They found them at the airport going back to their home country again. I beg you. I know some of you wants to go home because you are seeing certain things on the social media. You want to go and feel belong and all that. You are claiming asylum in this country. Your paper is not clear yet. And you want to return back to Nigeria. Be very careful. I know I don't pray that you spend 15 years to get your papers. The first thing in this country is visa way that they give you is not enough. Apply for your right to stay in this country. Somebody don't change my car. Thank you so much. Don't be aced. Show me right. Show me when you're right. Don't be in a hurry to go back home. Especially to go and do what? Find girls, sleep with small girls, suck breast, build house. You can do everything you want to do from here. Deal with your document first. It took me 15 years. It will not take that long for you to get yours. I'm not saying Jesus' name in Ashe. No, it will not take long because we link everything into religious. Just do the needful. And when you get to UK, if you're stuck, get in touch with me. I'll try my best. That is the reason why I have stayed here too long. So let's go quickly because I'm going to end this program, like I've been saying. Now, there is a fourth line. What is the fourth line? The fourth line is that the empire, the British colonial, did not consider how do we reach you, brother? When you get to UK. My number is in public domain now. So that will be easy now. You can even send a message from my website, koikimedia.com. Yellow Easy Jew. There's no way you will get to UK. I don't do visa, but when you get to UK, don't let anybody deceive you. I don't know about America. When you get to UK, reach out to me. There is no case that is good. Don't let any lawyer, any of your friend, your family, go see case konto Danny Louis. And the good thing is, when you have an application inside, nobody can remove you in this country until they resolve it. And that could be a very long time. And you can even have somebody give the lay. You know how those things work. Don't let anybody deceive you. Okay? Especially, I know there are good lawyers in UK, but don't be deceived. When you get here, you will live here like I have lived. So, let's move further. So, there's a fourth line. What is the fault line? Let me put the question out. What was the fault line that the British colonial rulers did not factor when they were merging us together? What are the fault line? I just want to pick one or two before I move forward. Kí làwọn nǹkan tó rí tí kò dá, tí kò jẹ́ kó ṣe, or no, Yorùbá yàn lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, fault line. Ntí kò jẹ́, ntí ẹ kọ́ rò kó tó di pé wọ́n kó gbogbo àpapọ̀. What are the fault line? I am Koiki ambassador in South London. Me, I know this South London, no. I don't want to come there. Koiki is everywhere you go. Benny, I don't know me. What are the fault line? Kí ni àwọn nǹkan tí ẹ̀yin náà rí nísìn? Okay, Koiki, àmọ́ gbogbo eléyìí tẹ́lẹ̀. Gbogbo tó ń sọ yìí, ṣé ó wà nínú ìwé sọ́kọ́lẹ̀ ni àbí wọn náà lọ kà ni àbí what are the fault line? Kí ni fault line? Because the British colonial rulers, they know that Yoruba people, we are smart, we are intelligent, not that the others are not, but they still went ahead and merged us with people that wants to drag us backwards. You might say that it is not true, but the most important thing is they knew that our languages are different, and they went further to put us together. Moki Ibube Yawa, Olajire Koka, and as many of you that have joined. Too much Nigerian languages. English, where they speak, is not my language. But unfortunately, they remove it. They told lies. Ajayi Crowther, they told lies. How many people know River Niger? Have you never heard before that River Niger was founded by Mungo Park? I mean, that was what I read in the book in Nigeria. But right now, we know is a lie. Listing some of the immediate steps to include addressing the police, the military, the age-old issues of human rights abuses, which Tinubu also, there's human rights fault in Tinubu as well. Right away, it will be those steps could be taken that would show Nigerian people that government is moving to address the issues that bedevil the country. Buhari failed to do that. I don't see Tinubu changing anything. Yes, we were told at Mungo Park. Only Mungo Park, but we know it's a lie. Now, let's move swiftly forward. The senior fellow, I'm jumping, I'm not reading everything because it's too much. The senior fellow at the CRF think tank maintained that Nigerian current constitution mimic that of the US, but is generally relics of the British colonial rule and the military regimes that are superintended Nigeria. So when some Nigerians are saying Nigeria is going to work, I ask on which constitution? Is it the same constitution? I don't think so. Let's go further. He, however, warned that if the government and the political class remain indifferent to the current nationwide crisis, Nigeria might end up in what is described unmitigated disaster. I am not making this up. He warned Buhari then. Well, Buhari is no longer in power. Tinubu is in power right now. He warned. Somebody saying the land where my ancestors were living before the British and the Portuguese came. Ijebus they've been towns and cities 500 years before Portuguese came. But all this now, people say, let's forget all that, Koiki, let's work together and save Nigeria. You are saving Nigeria for who? Let me read that part. I love that bit. Is warning Buhari then, now it's Tinubu there, that if he warned that if the government and the political classes remain indifferent to the current nationwide crisis, Nigeria that you love, that I love, I mean, I just say that, I'm sure you know, I don't mean it that way. Nigeria might end up in what is described as unmitigated disaster. According to him, well, implosion of the country will be an unmitigated disaster. Whether that occurred or not is very largely up to Nigerians themselves and their political leadership. And that is where I'm going to stop today. That is where we are right now. Many people say, Koiki, how is it going to happen? Well, he has already said it here. If that implosion is going to happen, whether that occurs or not is very largely up to Nigerians, me, you, and our political leadership. I'm not saying that we should go and attack and kill them, but we can start holding them accountable to say, is the true picture of Nigeria reflecting in my life? Or some have asked the question before I go to say, but Koiki, but these are going to be the same set of people that will come and run Yoruba Nation. That is a total lie. I'll just give one example. When I came here, I had the opportunity to get my driver license, quickly. And I remember that when you buy car insurance, the police in UK does not have the system to vet it until they upgraded the system. Whatever is happening in Nigeria, it's just in Nigeria about to collapse. Everything surrounding the Nigeria constitution, whatever, dies with it. We will now have a new system that will be set up, run by me and you, without any intimidation. Why do you think we don't get intimidated by politicians here? If I can't intimidate them, neither they can't as well. Their job is to serve the people. The present Nigerian constitution is not meant to serve anybody. It's meant to serve each individual political gladiators. May the soul of Akeredolu rest in peace, just as many Nigerians that have died in the past as those that have died in Plateau, Sokoto, in every part of Nigeria. We would do what needs to be done to fold up the last empire of the British conglomerate put together. Thank you so much, Coco, for the heart. And that is how far I can go. Without going, I will not say support us. Remember that we will all need a media. Don't expect Al Jazeera that is well funded, fully funded. Go on YouTube and see it. Al Jazeera is fully funded by Qatar government. They are the one controlling the narratives in the Middle East. Qatar is a small country. Maybe we might end up there. Some say, Koiki, don't go there where there will be negotiation. But at some point, even if we fight, we kill each other, which I don't want, we destroy things, we will come back on the round table to collapse Nigeria. My name is Olami Koiki. I hope you've taken one or two things out of the broadcast. If you're new to the platform, just follow me. Some of you want me to follow you back. I don't have to follow you. You just follow me so that when I go live, you will be live with me. Enjoy the rest of the day. Abiomo Eshu, Abiomo Jesu, Abiomo Anobi Muhammad. Me, I be do 3 in 1. Don't allow religion to destroy your mindset. Religion is you and your creator. Humanity, to save who we are as Yoruba people, so that we can then save the next people that are weak. Bola Tinubu, you are just too weak for my liking. You should have done things in terms of the security. May the soul of those that died in Plateau State rest in peace. Thank you so much. I can't mention all the names. It's just too much. But I appreciate you, especially those of you on TikTok. Maybe because I know they curse anymore. Thank you so much for those that keep your feedback. Give the feedback. I love your feedback. If you want to reach out to me, send me an email or go on my website and send a question. But don't go there and say, I have a question. Just put it there. I'll reply you. It might take some time because I have about 2,000 messages on my WhatsApp. I'm trying my best. I am Olayomi Koiki, and the platform is called Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Enjoy the rest of the day. I'm off. Bye for now.